It's been a while, isn't it? What's happening? Welcome back, people. We gave up on the live stream. Actually, should we start the podcast before we start?
We always do that.
No.
We just start on...
And then you always make a comment about how we always do that.
I don't think I always do that.
And then usually I make a comment about you making a comment about how we always do that.
No, that's only this time.
Could be.
Anyway. What's my intro again?
Hello Internet.
Right.
You stole it from another famous podcast.
Yeah, but they don't actually use that. It's just their name.
We don't actually break bollocks.
Well...
I do.
Star stuff.
It's a greeting phrase.
Can we start? Please. Firebolt.
You could say like, hello people of the internet.
I think we've started already.
Hello netizens.
This is a whole shitload of wasted nonsense otherwise.
Okay.
Can't put all that before they start.
What?
All that we just...
You can edit it out a bit.
Edit? What's that?
Hello Internet, I'm Firebolt.
And I'm the Orbiter.
And this is the first podcast we've recorded for like a month, pretty much.
It's got to be over a month. Yeah, the last one was a bit depressing. We apologise about that.
Yeah. Well, we're a bit overworked because we were trying to get ahead for the holidays. We did get ahead a bit, but...
A bit overworked.
Yeah. You may see a couple of changes around the channel. Probably more at New Year, but more immediately, the new series killers, Life is Strange. Those are a lot shorter than our normal videos, like 20 minutes roughly.
You know, the first one of those has already gone out, and this isn't going to go out for another 3 or 4 weeks.
It's a newish series.
Okay. So what's today's episode about, or do we do follow-up first?
A little bit after that, the Dad versus the World are probably going to get a bit shorter.
Yeah, we're going to experiment a bit, I think.
Yeah.
We need to back off the workload, because staying up all night and abandoning the rest of life's responsibilities isn't conducive to a sane existence. So this is why I'm a little bit more chipper, a little bit more upbeat than last time.
So today... do you want to get rid of the follow-up before I...
Do you want to get rid of it?
Well, like, get it out of the way.
Yeah, have I got any? I don't know if I've got any.
Midterms?
Is that me?
Well, you suggested it earlier.
That's not really follow-up, is it?
That's not... Fine, it's just news then.
Well, I suggested that as part of the topic because of the result of the midterms.
Fine, we'll talk about it in the actual thing. But... a little bit of follow-up from... what was it?
I don't know, what was it?
Come back.
I'm sure it wasn't that.
Language.
Yeah, that's appropriate, isn't it? And again.
Are you going to keep doing that?
It depends on whether your language improves.
Language, Timothy.
You remembered?
I remembered halfway through the sentence I was going to do a Captain America.
Do you want me to leave the room while you do that?
What do you think that is?
What do you mean you're going to do a Captain America?
Like, say language, because it's a joke throughout Age of Ultron.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember that, yeah.
Okay. Great.
Kind of.
Anyway,
Been a while.
what I was wanting to talk about, it's not really anything to do with news or particularly... anything to do with something that we talked about in that episode, but something that we just sort of missed out in that episode. Oh, actually, before I get into that, we aren't streaming this anymore.
No.
Because, well...
it's too much pressure.
Yeah, chat, when they were there, were a little bit annoying.
Well, some of them were. 1 or 2 weren't. We're very grateful to the attendees who engaged properly, but there were some dickheads as well.
Some of them like attempted to engage properly and then just seemed to get a bit bored. And
I think this is also part of our kind of feeling around to get a find out what's the best
G-spot.
format for our channel. Where the fuck did that come from?
Sorry, it's like I got Tourette's or something. My mind just like G-spot.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
What?
Tourette's podcast.
But we'd have to actually find somebody that has Tourette's.
Yeah.
You two.
What?
You two have it.
We have
I
verbal
don't.
diarrhea. We don't have Tourette's.
Very dirty verbal diarrhea.
Well, yeah, we talk a lot of shit.
You do.
Oh, we're gonna start this now.
Yeah. Are we going to get onto the subject?
Anyway, the thing that I wanted to talk about is with a lot of arguments about civil rights, a lot of it comes down to definitions, weirdly enough.
Right.
Like,
What is this follow-up?
kind of from language.
Right, okay.
Like with the gay marriage thing,
Mm.
a lot of where people were coming from, they were fine with people being gay, but they didn't want to change the definition of marriage. Because the definition before that would have been between a man and a woman.
Well, yeah, I mean, talking about language, I mean, if you think about the word marriage, it comes from the stem of the verb to mar, doesn't it?
Yeah. And similarly with the difference more recently, because I think most people accept gay marriage in the Western world now. I
Yeah.
don't know entirely. With the sort of difference between the word gender and sex. Sex, the newer meaning, the politically correct meaning, sex being the biological term and gender being the identity term.
Yeah.
So
A construct.
yeah, but previously before that, then they probably were completely interchangeable. But people, have
Yeah, I'm sure they were
difficulties-
when I didn't actually come across this difference between gender and biological sex until maybe 2 or 3 years ago, from what I recall.
Yeah,
I don't know if I was wrong about it, but I had always assumed before that they were the same thing.
but language does evolve, and people don't like to change if they are told that this is the new way that they should speak.
Actually, no, come to think of it, I did come across the concept of gender identity back in 2002, possibly. Because there was somebody on a course that I went on who identified as male but was female. And I'd
Biologically.
yeah, biologically female, yeah, sorry. See, this language thing. And I'd never come across the concept before. It was quite fascinating.
Yeah. But I think with that, there are just some people that strive to just stay in the old ways when they don't really need to. There's no good reason to keep it that way other than just because it was that way in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see the need for any kind of gender assignation apart from in like electronics and,
Electronics.
male and female connections.
Right.
It's kind of
But
that's a
gender
practical-
does, even in modern society, play a big role.
Yeah,
Although we have got gender.
but would it not be better if it didn't?
Yeah, then there are non-binary people who reject the idea of gender
Yeah,
as a
'Cause, I mean, there's a-
male and female thing.
there's all this pressure to be like masculine or feminine, depending on your gender identity, biological sex, whatever you want to kind of base it on. But
My guess is that most men wouldn't feel comfortable being treated like women, even if that doesn't necessarily mean worse. But
well, I'm sure they
different.
would if men and women were treated the same.
Before,
Yeah.
like, they get these preconceptions about society,
Never bothered you two.
and
About what?
Being treated like women. But I mean, you know,
Do you treat us like women?
stereotypically, yeah.
Similarly, with
I didn't even know. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but it's interesting to
and I think
hear that.
less so in this case because you get like tomboys. If a woman were to be treated like a man and they didn't identify as a man, then they would probably feel uncomfortable with that as
It's
well.
all bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, just be people, for fuck's sake.
How comes the word, the tomboy, a term for a girl who wants to be more boyish, but there's not
Yeah.
an equal term
Does that
for
make
it?
me a Sally girl?
Yeah.
Okay,
Is Sally the opposite of Tom? No, what's the opposite of Tom?
Jerry.
You get tomcats. What are girl cats called?
Bobcat.
No, they're ones without tails.
Snowy.
The what?
Snowy.
I don't know. But
I was
anyway,
going to say pussies, but
You're a pussy girl.
I should explain to the listeners I have quite a lot of, in case the listeners and or viewers hadn't already noticed, I have quite a few what might be classically thought of as feminine traits, or I'm quite camp for a bloke at times. But I wouldn't say that there's anything. I mean, I would actually think that that's possibly because most of my upbringing was done by my mother, and even when my father was still around, he wasn't around much. You know, before they split up,
yeah.
he wasn't there much. So I've been in a feminine environment. I've been surrounded by girlies most of my life, which is great. I'm happy with that.
Anyway, on to the subject.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about gender in another subject of our podcast. I can't remember when, but there'll be more in-depth discussion there.
Indeed.
I just wanted to mention that because I thought of it. Well, I didn't think of it. I watched a YouTube video that presented that argument because I'm original.
So today's subject. Excuse me.
Today's subject is balance.
Jesus.
Yeah, let's get a clip, right?
I think I broke the chair.
Oh my fucking...
No, I didn't. I'm only joking.
You did think you did, but...
No, it is a bit wobbly, but then these chairs are wobbly anyway.
Right. Anyway, yeah, so kind of on a similar topic, kind of to welfare first, but approaching it from a more positive angle, I think, because it did get a bit depressing.
Have you ever had a topic?
What?
Have you ever had a topic? It's a chocolate bar.
I
I don't know if they're still around, actually.
don't know.
Sorry. I'm derailing the conversation again.
Oh, well, that's not like you.
So, yeah, sorry, carry on. What were you saying?
Every minute is torture.
There's balance in this. Because you're trying to be serious, and I'm trying to be not serious.
I'm
So
just
there's
trying to
balance.
have a conversation without you interrupting me every 5 seconds.
This
With
is
something that's
this is
completely off topic to
This is
anything.
episode 20-something. You should know better by now.
23.
Is it? You sure?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, talking about sort of...
Do you think I'm imbalanced?
Do you mind shutting up for like 5 seconds? Like even literally 5 seconds.
Okay.
No one's going to take me that time to say that. About work-life balance.
I'm sure that was about 5 seconds.
Right.
Work-life balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've been a bit obsessed with the channel. I think it would be safe to say Orbiter has pulled many all-nighters trying
I wondered what you were going to say then.
to get videos finished.
And not managed it, actually. We didn't get far enough ahead before the holidays to not miss any episodes, did we? Which kind of shows the futility of it all. And there's going to be lots of shows and stuff coming up, so
There might be a few
Where?
over the... Actually, this might have gone and passed. You might have noticed a couple of things that were like past a day, but most people don't seem to really notice the schedule since it's not daily.
no. And the best thing you can do about that if you don't want to miss them when they do come out,
is hit the notification button
and subscribe and follow and stuff.
Because now subscribing
you
on
can
YouTube
even be a
doesn't
membership.
actually get you notifications.
You can even be a member on our website.
Do you mind?
No, I don't mind.
And then
Or
you can
sign up to Patreon and give us some
you
money.
can be a commenter that isn't actual spam.
Yeah, I've put a Kismet on the blog now.
Good.
Anti-spam.
Because I was getting fed up with having to just go, and it's just bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. It's like broken, clearly written by a bot English.
Yeah.
And it just has a link at the end to some casino website or something.
Have you won anything?
No.
So yeah, work-life balance. Well, I think the thing about that was this whole enterprise was basically had become work, hadn't it?
Yeah.
And we kind of always wanted it to be. We always wanted it to be the life bit.
Yeah.
All
But then
work
there's
and
other
no
bits of
play.
life. But then, I think I heard this on Hello Internet. There are other. I think the analogy they used is light bulbs to pay attention to, and how bright you have them is how much you're paying attention to them.
What?
Like saying having a family light bulb, a health light bulb, a work light bulb, a friend's light bulb, whatever, however many light bulbs you want, generally 4, and sort of changing them to different brightnesses to suit the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
Or just have them at a level that works.
Yeah.
That works.
Well, I think that's maybe the key for us with the work-life balance thing is to maybe just leave it. I mean, I think we like the release schedule in general, but leave it kind of open to, like we're going to be doing shorter episodes of, because I mean, to be honest, they're not really that much shorter episodes that we're ending up doing. We're just reverting back to our original format, really, aren't we? Because things have just been getting longer and longer.
Well, we are doing it a bit shorter, but it is what I was originally planning for the videos to be lengthwise.
I mean, our recording sessions.
My earlier reviews, you can see, are sometimes under 20 minutes.
Yeah. But our
Even
recording
mine's
sessions
now
for
got-
Breaking Bollocks, some of them, well, they were often getting up over 2 hours. And yeah, I'm sure
Oh yeah,
about
for
2.5.
this, we're probably going to be now recording for about an hour, like it was when we were doing like freedom of speech.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well done, you've got a memory.
Wow.
Wow, 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 wow.
Maybe you'll remember to put the video on this one.
Yeah.
You didn't for education. Still going to bring that up.
You're not like harbouring grudges or anything. No. So what else? Balance. Yeah, I was going to throw in the midterms, which for a few weeks ago now to you guys, but except for patrons, they may see it sooner. Yeah. So you know more about the American electoral system.
Yeah.
Electoral system.
At the time we're recording, we
It's
said
gonna be a bit more
about
balanced now, isn't
we
it?
said about saying the date of recording at the start of stuff.
Okay.
Okay, it is the
7th of November 2018.
Okay. You went for 2018, I went for 2018.
I know, I've got ears.
I know, I can ping them.
Fuck you.
Anyway, so that does mean that the midterms were yesterday. And even though that we don't live in America, I still paid attention to it because...
I've actually just uninstalled my Google News app off my phone.
Right.
Which is where I used to get all my news. Partly because it keeps giving me stuff tailored for you, which is spoilers for programs I haven't watched yet. Like, out of like the tabloid stories on like popular TV programs.
I don't know why
One of them was Walking Dead, which it's going to be a while till I watch that because, to be honest, getting a bit fed up with it is going on for fucking years. But I've invested so much time in it, and it's only 10 episodes a season, I think. So we're going to keep going with it. But it's like, yeah, from front page kind of or front article news headline, it says it says spoilers in big letters, and then it's got the fucking spoiler in big capital letters. It's like, well, there's no point putting spoiler just above the headline, is it?
Yeah, unless you can just shut your eyes off as soon as you see that.
Yeah.
I guess you could,
So-
but then you have to turn the notification off.
I mean, it's bad enough trying to. You have to stay off Facebook, which is not a bad thing actually. But there are parts of it I would like. Do you know what I would like to be able to do? And I don't know if this is possible. It probably is. Is just to use the page on Facebook and try and steer clear of the of all the crap.
Yeah.
It does become an addiction. So there's something about balance. There's, you know.
But anyway, on to the midterms.
Yeah, onto them. We were on them. We came off.
Yeah,
them.
right.
Let's go back on.
Back on to the midterms
We
for
fell
the
off.
third time. Yeah, so yesterday,
You blaming me for that?
midterms, the Democrats did win the House.
They did.
Woo! Which, actually, you know what? I'm just going to look up what the House can do. What can... Oh, God. I am terrible at typing today.
Yeah, what the
It's because I'm off-centered off the keyboard.
What can hamsters eat?
What can the
What can I have for dinner?
House of Representatives do?
What can the hospital do for a broken toe? So there's two houses then. There's the House of Representatives, blah, 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 and there's two chambers in Congress. The House of Representatives and the Senate.
Can I just, have their powers? So it explains nothing.
Well, from what I read, I think the Senate is more about appointing people, isn't it? Appointing people to different public offices.
The Supreme Court, that was
Yeah.
quite a big thing. Which means if another... Because the Republicans did get the Senate.
But it probably,
Mainly because the House... every seat in the House of Representatives was up for grabs.
yeah,
In the Senate, I think it was 35 seats that were up for grabs. I think 26 of them were Democrat seats.
yeah.
So they had more to lose there.
And they can initiate impeachment proceedings as well, can't they?
Yeah. In the Senate vote, I think it was just 2 sheets of paper. Actually, no, it's the House that does the impeachment proceedings. I think it's the Senate that has to sign off on it, though.
Okay.
I think it's 2/3 of the Senate has to agree on that.
So it's a good thing then that there's balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's likely not going to actually go through if impeachment proceedings do begin.
No, but it's good. I think they have the power to stop a lot of the stuff going through that.
Yeah.
That one of the things I read
It doesn't
actually today
feel
was that
like they can just do whatever they like.
now the head of the Science Administration, I think it was, is no longer going to be a climate change denier from now on.
Oh, have they?
Yeah,
the
that-
power to do that.
That was that's one of the positions that
Right.
the Democrats now get control over is or it's a Democrat thing. I don't know. I read it on Facebook, so it must be true.
I think Trump still gets full control of his cabinet with I think it's Scott Pruitt in the EPA, it's the Environmental
Protection Agency.
Yeah. Who is, as far as I know, a climate change denier, or at least man-made climate change denier.
It was on. I'm going to get my phone out and have a look. It was on.
And if anything, as Environmental Protection Agency head, has done nothing apart from actually hurt the environment and spend a bunch of taxpayer money on jets and stuff.
It's going to have completely changed, isn't it? Because when you see something on Facebook that you want to then refer back to, and you try to scroll down to it, it's just always gone, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they changed the order of things, I guess.
Playing rock music to cheese might make it taste better, new research suggests. If you play Boney M to cheese, does it turn into Stilton, or does Boney M just sound riper? What the fuck? Sorry.
Anyway, I'd like to see the powers of the House, because it is good that there is a bit of balance there. Because, I mean, even when they had both branches, the Republicans didn't manage to get much through by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Which is kind of bizarre, but... Oh yeah, this is a bit of an annoying thing. There are 6 non-voting members of the House of Representatives.
We shouldn't spend too much time on this because we did a US politics episode, didn't we? We looked into
this. This is like recent-ish.
No, there's definitely been 2 houses for quite a while, and we did look into what they both do on that podcast.
But I wasn't paying attention.
Well, you should go back and listen to it along with all our other listeners who are now scrolling back through the episodes to find the US politics episode so they can see what we're talking about.
Anyway, so the House is...
So you're going to completely ignore me and carry on.
More proportional, with 435 members among the 50 states.
Is it?
And the Senate is a lot less proportional, hence why the Republicans got in despite having less votes.
Mm-hmm.
Got like more seats because they have the smaller states and it's 2 seats for each state. So really tiny places like Wyoming,
vote Firebolt,
have much more powerful votes in the Senate than Californians or Texans.
Vote Firebolt.
I'm not against people voting for me, but I don't think I can run.
I'm sure you can walk.
Yeah. Okay, I can't be bothered looking at this anymore. Anyway, the Democrats get like powers.
Who's Hal Rogers?
Of impeachment and like revenue bills. Someone in Kentucky.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's like their website or something. Anyway.
Sorry, I'm being very immature.
Okay, the next thing on balance, unless you want to go back to that light bulb idea, and
what's the next thing on balance?
Was going to be balance in the news. Where sometimes it does get to the point where they completely misrepresent the truth in favour of balance.
Oh, yeah. Now this I think, are you referring to the similar kind of thing where, like, when the BBC present 2 sides of an argument, for instance, they'll have a scientist on to talk about climate change, and they'll have a climate change denier on to counterbalance that argument, when actually it's not 50-50, it's like 99% to 1% kind of.
On scientists. And even then, like, I think it's still the majority of the population.
Yeah, but there is this misconception that presenting both sides of an argument is giving a balanced view, but it's not.
Yeah.
If the majority of people...
If it were to be truly balanced, they would have like 96 scientists there.
Yeah.
And a couple of climate change deniers.
Yeah. And then 2 people, presumably, that aren't sure. They're just kind of sitting on the fence.
I guess.
Getting splinters in their arses.
Thanks for that image.
That's assuming it's not one of those that's got like barbed wire on top of it. You know, like a chainmail fence.
We're not talking about a literal fence.
No, but balancing on top of a fence would be easier if it was made of wood than if it had barbed wire on top.
Would it?
I would assume so.
Well, you get caught in the barbed wire. It might not be easier to, like, not scream out in pain, but it'd be easier to balance on.
That you get caught in the barbed wire? Have you tried it?
Like, not personally, but it's barbed wire. It's kind of meant to, like, stick to you, like, stab into you. So
is it?
I would guess that would tangle you up. I did, like, history, and it slowed people down when they had to go through the barbed wire because they kind of got stuck in it a bit.
What about razor wire?
I don't know.
So, yeah.
Balance on the news. It does particularly annoy me on, like, scientific arguments, because guess what? The experts might have a clue. Oh, and then
That's what an expert is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that never
microwave.
that I never ceases to amaze me when that argument about we've had enough of the experts. It's like, oh fine, well next time your car needs fixing, take it down to the local McDonald's drive-through assistant then.
Yeah.
Not that there aren't some of those that would know how to fix a car, but you know what I mean. You don't like you don't go to your local like handyman or carpenter to get your teeth seen to.
Next, they'll be announcing, we're leaving the Earth. Turns out we don't need oxygen to breathe on the moon.
Or let them.
Well,
Good
if
luck
they
to you,
take all
bye.
of us with them.
No.
Just like launch a big UK-shaped rocket into space. That is literally the UK.
Wouldn't be very aerodynamic though,
No, but who cares? Who needs experts?
and it wouldn't be balanced either.
Who needs experts? And it just really annoys me.
You need a lot of fuel to get a rocket the size of the UK
Well, no shit.
into
Considering
space.
it's literally a country.
At the moment,
Yeah. But do you think it won't be?
I don't know.
It might change.
There's a chance. There's a chance. Well, Britain itself has changed quite a lot. Like in terms of, I mean, the empire and all that lot. It's changed a lot since then.
Since the 1700s, so I think it's been called the United Kingdom, even though Ireland's shifted about a bit.
Yeah.
And various crown territories have been introduced and gone away.
Do you think the perception of balance changes dependent on the circumstances? In terms of political balance, you might assume, certainly with the rise of sort of far right politics,
Yeah, that is quite worrying.
a seemingly balanced position is that what's that thing you were saying about the something?
It's just like if you have
The
loads
box. What's the box?
of... what is it? Fuck, I've forgotten.
It's not that, no.
Vox...
No, box.
No, it's Vox was the thing that I saw it on. Oh, Overton window.
Window. Yeah, that was that's what I meant.
Right.
Box and a window are similar, aren't they?
Try telling that to who puts windows in.
A glazier.
No, that's in the Arctic.
No, that's a glacier.
You call it a glacier.
Well, you do if you're not American.
The glacier.
It was glacial, but I call them glaciers.
Because you... Fuck this. No, that's just not right.
What? What does Star Stuff call them?
What?
Glaciers.
Glaciers.
Glacier.
Why?
What I call them.
Pronunciation in English.
Cambridge Dictionary.
Okay.
Except when you're talking about mints.
Can we have the volume, please?
Glacier.
Ah,
Glacier.
Fuck you.
British English is glacier.
Yeah, but nobody says that. Except
That's
you.
because America's conquering the world with its...
Yeah, well, language changes. This is what I was saying.
Yeah, but that presumably is an up-to-date website. So as things stand currently, the Cambridge English Dictionary claims that the British English pronunciation is glacier. It may change under the foreign influence of America.
But I've never heard anyone but you refer to it as glacier. In fact, it would make more
That's
sense.
because everything's far more Americanized.
It would make...
America-sized.
If I'm talking about
Americanised.
mints, I'd say glacier mints.
What?
Fox's
Fox's
glacier
But
mints.
it's the same word. They're called glacier mints because they're like
Yeah.
glaciers.
But that's probably, like you say, because that's what they're called. But when I've heard people talk about
It
glaciers,
would make
it's
more
been...
sense if the person that put
American
windows in was a glacier and that they were glaciers.
Well, that's been
No, because
led-
glazier's got a Z in it, not a C.
glazier.
I'm not saying glacier. I'm going glacier.
Yeah, but oh, never mind. There's the
Glacier.
spelling. Yeah, but anyway, the Cambridge Dictionary agrees with me, so I'm happy.
Are we going to have another ping PNG debate?
We don't have to. What you mean the one I won?
No, you mean the one that we both
The one that
won.
I looked up the evidence for and found myself to be correct.
Yeah, the one that I went into my files and looked it up to be correct.
Your files?
Yeah, because I have PNGs.
No, we're not having that argument again. Because I won that one as well, so we don't need to.
Oh, Mr. Perfect.
Thank you. About time.
You're an asshole. Anyway, positive balance with positive.
You about to quack or something? For the podcast audience, Firebolt is adopting the duck position. You
How
can't
is
do it,
that
can you? I quacked at Donald Duck. I quacked at Donald Duck on holiday, and he looked at me with indignation.
Yeah, which was surprising considering that, like, you wouldn't think that those masks could have much facial expression.
Yeah.
Even in the photo, he looks offended.
Yeah. Maybe I swore because I don't speak duck.
Okay. You can have your childish imagination.
Thank you. I'm not sure what I would do if you said that I couldn't, though. Cause...
Just riff out your brain. Right, the light bulb thing.
Ping.
PNG. So, what do you think would be... Right, come up with a few ideas for the names of your light bulbs.
Fred.
No, like, names that...
Sarah. Charlie.
Like, work, life, whatever.
Right, okay, music.
Okay.
Gym.
You're back
Alright,
at it.
exercise. Right, music. Health. Oh, like they all break down because you've got like mental health and physical health.
Yeah, you can break them into smaller compartments, but I would say
Are they small
4
light bulbs?
generally.
So are we talking about like banks of LEDs then in each?
I guess if you want to complicate it. It's meant to be a very simple analogy.
Okay, so maybe split things into two, work and... Well, see, that's... Work-life balance is a well-used phrase, but it's actually bollocks because work is part of life.
Yeah,
It assumes that you're dead when you're working.
what was that thing John Lennon said?
No religion too?
No, life is what happens whilst you're busy making other plans. But life
What's
is
that got
strange.
to do with the price of fish?
What?
Have you not heard that before? Have you not heard that phrase before?
No.
I think it's an old person's phrase.
I mean, you're nearly 50, so...
Am I fucked? Don't start with that already.
Getting on.
Nearly 3 years away from being 50.
Old man orator. I'm
Yeah.
3 years away from being an adult.
Yeah, and
Still
I've
won't
got
grow
more
up.
than 30 years more experience and wisdom under my belt. Well, all right then. Maybe wisdom's not quite.
Yeah, you just take out a 10-year chunk when you weren't doing anything.
I've never had a 10-year chunk where I wasn't doing anything. You
Well,
might
you
not
were-
agree with what I was doing, but
Right.
I was doing lots. I was gaining life experience.
You were learning from your many mistakes.
Yeah, well, that's what life's about. You don't learn anything if you don't make mistakes.
Including me.
No.
Learning from me now.
Yeah, debatable.
Well, you're learning from me.
Selectively, I'm choosing what to learn from you because some of the things you say are wrong, like how you pronounce glacier and peng.
You're so fucking petty. But then so am I. See where I get it from.
Oh, you don't go blaming your ancestors for your own shortcomings.
Well, I just did. And loads of people do.
That went a bit quiet.
I think for once we've actually exhausted the subject fairly early.
We didn't actually talk about it that much, though.
No, we didn't actually talk about the light bulb thing because you kept going
Oh,
on
light
about...
bulbs. Yeah, sorry. Let's do that then. Light bulbs.
Right, so, yeah, you were just going off on something again.
This is one of my things, though. I have a flighty...
Work, health.
Do you know what it is?
What?
I have to focus and concentrate really selectively and really precisely when I'm performing, when I'm playing music. So the rest of the time, I try to spend as much time just letting my mind do whatever the fuck it likes, because it's the only chance it's going to get is balance. You know, it's like within reason, obviously.
Yes.
When you're driving, it's always good to be kind of focused on the road, but
They're like, ooh, a duck.
squirrel. So
Because I swear sometimes when like we were walking around in Disney, sometimes you would just like look at something in the distance and we'd be just like meant to be walking a straight line and you'll just go off somewhere. I got lost because of that.
you got lost and you're trying
Because I
to
was
blame
trying.
me for it.
No, I was trying to get you to rejoin the group,
Rejoin the group.
and then you did anyway. And
Oh,
I got lost.
Let's not discuss that. Let's talk about light bulbs.
Okay. Well, would you like to actually talk about them?
I'm not sure what you want me to say.
Right. Come up with the categories first.
Okay. What are the categories?
You need to come up with them. It's your
what are
life.
what are you asking me? What is important to me?
Well, like what you could separate your time into generally.
What is my week generally divided up into?
Yeah, roughly, like
Or my
in
life.
broader categories.
Okay. Well, I could say music, but that would be in different. Pardon me. That would be in different capacities, because there's my work life music wise. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll make that one. We'll make music.
Go ahead.
One. I mean, I listen to music, but not nearly as much as I would like to. But that's part of something else, isn't it? That's the
yeah,
relaxation
like that,
part. So the work part for
Work
me.
hard, play hard thing.
Yeah, I would like to move one of my light bulbs from one category to another, actually, because, as I say, I've been seeing this whole channel that we've been doing as more as, like work up until holiday. But as it becomes apparent that that's not going to be sustainable because of the real work that I need to do.
Yeah, well, this doesn't bring in money. So.
No, and it might do one day, but if in the meantime, whether it does or not eventually, we need to treat it as play.
Yeah.
Which is probably the wrong word to use, but relaxation, fun, work, life. Work, yeah.
That's like other projects. It's another outlet
Family.
of creativity.
Family is a bulb, isn't it?
Would you say that that's separate from this? Because
No, they all overlap. They're like Venn diagrams.
yeah, that might be a better way. I don't know. I mean, you can't really do that with light bulbs, but just go with
You
like
could do it with spotlights.
family, and then come up with one or two more, maybe.
Food.
Food's not really. Is
It
it?
can be.
No,
No, it's part of.
it's probably
Well,
more
again,
part
that
of,
overlaps
like-
because it's partly to do with survival, but it's also pleasure. It's kind of.
there should be a difference between that sort of family thing and your personal pleasure, for lack of a better phrase. Where you can just like sit down and relax, because like whilst I do enjoy going out, it is quite a drain, so it's nice to just sort of sometimes just sit in bed and do not much at all.
It's also difficult as well when you're talking to other people about something like this. You have to separate out in your mind the reality from what you think other people's expectations are and what your own expectations should be. And for example, I would say that I would think that most other people, especially present in this room, and probably myself as well included, would expect that family should be the brightest one.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. Overall.
But does the fact that you
Not
know
combined.
that that's expected of you affect
no,
how
you need
how
to be
kind of-
realistic about it, otherwise it's a useless thought experiment.
I mean,
You can think of your idealistic
It's a weird
version and
one,
work
actually.
towards it.
yeah, it's a weird one.
But
I would say
maybe come up with percentages out of...
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing percentages. Actually, I will do percentages. If there were only 2 light bulbs, one of them was family and the other one was music, I would probably say my ideal would be 51% family, 49% music.
Right, but that is a very balanced.
In terms, but that's the interesting thing. When I say that, I'm talking about in terms of importance to me. But if you look at the amount of time that I spend on each of those 2 activities, actually music
necessarily
gets much less of a look.
Time, but also energy and effort, really.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you
Maybe not
this comes
effort,
back to
but
what I was saying
energy,
about
I'd guess.
focused concentration. You know, it's like an
Because
hour.
if you spend a lot of time getting that music light bulb to be brighter than 50%, which is a lot more than all the others won't have enough energy to be bright at all.
Energy.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've gone a bit dizzy.
Have you? I think we should be winding it up because I need to go shopping. Work-life balance.
Just give me like a ballpark answer, because you've
Of
just
what?
been down.
Have you asked me a
Your light
question?
bulb thing, fucking hell.
What question are you asking me?
What percentages are they at, and what are the light bulbs right now, realistically?
Right. Okay. Well, you need to ask what the light bulbs are first, otherwise you can't assign
Well,
percentages.
I've asked you that like 10 times.
Well,
And you
I don't
just
know.
go,
There's too many. There is too many. There's too many.
Think
This
of
is
broader categories.
well.
Work, health,
Give me some categories that you know, because you know me. You know what I do.
social and
Work, health, social,
personal, like play. Let's call it play.
play. So work,
Let's go.
play, social, and health. Is family included in social?
Yeah.
Yeah.
generally.
Okay. Work, play.
Although
social,
these
and
can
health.
be divided into subcategories of smaller light bulbs, this is generally.
Are we
the
talking
thought
about
experiment
the way
around it.
things actually are at the moment?
Not like at the present moment, but in general,
I
like as a.
don't know. That turns this into too much like
No,
work.
just as how you feel overall, your mental energy is being spent on different things. Like, how much time are you thinking about different things? Is
I don't
that
know.
helpful?
Well, not really, because my brain's kind of fairly fucked at the moment. Not just specifically now, I'm talking in general.
Maybe you need to be putting up that health light bulb a bit.
Well, I am. I've been for an appointment today, and I didn't tell you, did I? Yeah, I'll tell you about that later.
You might want to give like health
Okay.
details out on a podcast.
May want to or not.
Might not want
Might
to.
not want to, no. But yeah, everybody has difficult times, and there's different ways of dealing with it. And I'll be honest, I have found it a challenge recently, but partly because of all sorts of things, like, you know, the pressure of the channel, all the work we put into that, and that's kind of related to the balance thing that we were on about. Obviously, having such a big holiday, there's money issues that need resolving at the moment.
Yeah, because
So-
at that time,
And it
obviously, the play light bulb was put very bright during the holiday.
But the thing is, with the work thing here in this situation, it is interchangeable with play in that I would like this project that we're doing to be more fun rather than work. But it's also overlapping with the family thing, because obviously we're family. So, you know, it's difficult to achieve balance, I think, is something that we have learned.
Yeah, well, I do remember quite a lot when I was younger. You did definitely struggle with that work-life balance thing,
Yeah, well,
which
as a parent,
think
as a kind of a working parent,
made
that's often
us
the case.
a lot more distant than than we are now, at least, because you just weren't around as
The
much.
good old days.
You're a prick. You
I know, but I can only say that to you now because I know you know that I'm joking.
Do I?
Don't cry. Don't cry live on air. Well, not live. Don't cry on the
Use it
recording
for
because
the
I can edit that
thumbnail.
out.
Get loads of clicks.
I can edit it out and make myself look good. Not really.
Because you won't actually edit it, will you?
No. I'll just stick an opener and a closer on it and call it.
Even
A
if we have
podcast.
like minute-long silences.
No, we haven't had that, but anyway. I think we're wandering.
We
getting
do that a
tired.
lot. Have you not like heard the rest of the podcast?
Oh.
What?
I was just looking at how long we've been recording for because we'd said about aiming for an hour and I thought we'd already gone over, but we haven't.
Yeah. Why do you think I've kept talking?
Oh, I just thought because you like the sound of your own voice.
Anyway, there are other things to talk about.
Oh, wait to sweep me under the carpet. Are there?
Would you mind not keep checking your phone? Well, that's another thing, like trying to balance your phone usage with actually paying attention to paying attention to the world beyond your screen.
Are you talking about me?
Not specifically you, but I do it a lot as well.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'll put the link for this in the description.
Block notifications because
I'll put the link for this in the
I've got
description.
97 notifications on it.
Oh, why don't you just keep talking over me?
Yeah, well, everyone knows that you put the links in the description because you say it at the end. Or we don't say it anymore.
This is on my daily updates on whether it's Christmas. See, don't you wish that you did Facebook more often? You would get my daily updates on whether or not it's Christmas.
Twitter is arguably more interesting.
I don't actually think it's shared. I did share it.
My card disagrees with your updates.
Your what?
My card disagrees with your updates. Oh, whether it's Christmas. Yeah, you did share it.
Where is it?
I don't know. You look on my profile. It'll be on my profile.
It's right next to it.
It's on your profile.
Yeah, you did share it, but I'm sure I saw it on yours.
Yeah, but you're thinking of the thing that I put this is spot on to, aren't you?
What?
I'm talking about a video.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I don't know.
Um,
I was just talking about it.
who was it? Who was it that shared it? Timeline.
See,
Recent.
we shouldn't have this with like social media posts because then
What?
Twitter's more useful. You can actually find stuff.
Yeah, but I shared this post and it's not there anymore.
Yeah, well, maybe you unshared it.
I don't think I did.
Well, maybe you're wrong.
Anyway. I'm trying to remember who shared it with me because then I'd be able to look it up on there.
Oh well, would you like to actually just talk about it? Oh my god, just fucking talk about it.
I can't remember. My brain's given up.
What? Talking about phones and stuff.
Yeah, stuff.
Jesus Christ, you are useless at
I know. Well, I can't. I'm tired. And I've got shopping to do, and I've got to go drive.
Energy, think.
Ooh, you won't let me look.
What? Fine, just edit this out.
Of course, I shall edit this out. Maybe I didn't.
Fucking hell.
You haven't done any videos for ages.
Oh, hang on. It was one of those that didn't have a share button on it. It just had a like button.
How did you comment about it being?
So it must have been a sponsored thing. Oh, hang on. It was him. It was Thingy Bob. What's his name? George Takei. It was on his page.
Right.
I think.
Realise like Thingy Bob could mean
I think it was on his page, but the only trouble is
hundreds of different people.
he posts several hundred times a day, so it's not always that easy to find stuff on his.
Do you think he personally posts that?
No, I think he's probably got a team of posters. What?
It just sounds like.
No, I think he's just an old man who just sits in his study posting things.
Who, George
all
Takei?
the time. Yeah.
Well, like your dad.
My dad's probably going to watch this as well.
Is he?
I don't know if he watches them all the way through. I know he always likes them on Facebook.
Yeah, I just assumed he was just being nice to try and spread the.
I'll tell him to watch this one.
No, don't.
I love my dad, by the way. If you do watch this, Dad.
Anyway, yeah, it was about expectations of the world and screen time and stuff about millennials through no fault of their own having all these pressures and stuff, and it's like I can't remember where it came from though.
I think it's more that raised in that sort of environment, especially like nowadays. And I'm not saying like this is bad parenting or anything, where
No, well,
it is just easier to like stick an iPad in front of a kid than.
That is actually the one that Mum did share. Is more to do with that. The parenting thing.
Like you can hardly expect kids or even millennials to not be on their phones.
Yeah.
But also there's just a lot of social pressure. Like I feel like you have to respond to a personal email within hours or you're rude or something.
Yeah, sod that. If it's that important to get in touch with me, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
I get that probably more with Messenger. You feel a bit more like that, but even then, well, the problem with Messenger actually is that they can see when you've seen it, when you've read it. That's the thing I find.
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a post. It's a fairly long post actually. Well, it's not that long. I could read it out. It's about exactly what you were just talking about.
Well, do you want to actually just have a conversation about that? Original content.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay. But we kind of already have.
But I guess that's case in point that you've just like reverted to just using.
Yeah, because as I've said, we had agreed we were going to keep these episodes to an hour, and I've got shopping to do and a drive, and I'm not going to fit it in before I've got to go. So I'm going to have to go shopping tomorrow if I don't fit it in.
It would have helped if you'd actually like stayed on top of it when I asked you to, though. Like actually, just like the last sentence that I did, the next thing that you say having something to do with it.
I know, but that kind of is again coming back to trying to make this more fun than.
Yeah, I guess, but it would be nice to. I think we have talked about balance, isn't it? It was mainly that news idea. Okay, we can talk about very quickly the political idea.
How can you talk about a political idea quickly?
Well, the idea that centrism ends up being best for all parties' interests rather than the more extreme versions.
Right. Well, I agree with that.
Not right, centre.
Well, I agree. I agree with that.
I don't know if the best way to do that is just to have more centrist politicians or to have a proportional thing where... Because it is roughly...
Well, how about we don't have so much fucking polarising media out there?
Yeah, that's really annoying.
Because you're never going to get people in the centre ground
Because it
if
feels
everybody
like
being
you
pushed to the edges.
have to choose a side.
And centre ground doesn't balance. So if you've got extremists on one side, it's no good standing your ground in the centre because it's still going to be out of balance.
Yeah, because on most policies, and also because of the thing with the spoiler effect, I would vote for Labour. I agree with the Greens probably on more policies. Not really sure about Lib Dems. They just sort of feel a little too middle of the road for my vote, because other people will vote for the further right stuff, because it feels like you have to vote further and further extreme to just counter the next person who's trying to grab power by being the most extreme.
Yeah. I'm going to go get my shoes.
Did you want to actually finish the fucking podcast first?
Yes, please.
Anyway, I've been Firebolt.
I've been the Orbiter.
And you've been a fucking toddler for this episode.
Well, I'll get used to it.
I'm meant to be your kid.
No, we've done that. I've had 15 odd years of that. You can... It's payback time, bitch.
Fuck you. I was going to say you signed up for it, but I know it was kind of unplanned. Planned later was the phrase you used.
I don't remember that.
It's a weird ID. Anyway, is that something weird for you to think about?
No, not really.
Great. Yeah, we did the outro, and this has been a podcast.
Completely unbalanced.
Well, you wanted a balance between the serious stuff and the just having a fun
It's
conversation
more
stuff.
chaotic than balanced, doesn't it?
Maybe chaos is balance.
Maybe.
It was probably seemed like really deep feel. Do you mind fucking just actually staying awake for the podcast?
I've got an hour and a half to get into Aberdeen and do a week's shopping on the way.
Well, stop doing that and I won't keep stopping what I'm talking about.
I thought we'd finished.
No.
You've already done the outro.
Ass hat. You know, it's just a pain to deal with. You wanted that balance between... But I was saying about having... There's probably some like yin and yang stuff that you could talk about. Balance between good and evil, and that actually ends up with a better situation.
I am going to go
whatever.
get my shoes.
Fucking hell. Okay, bye, listeners. Dear listeners.
Yin and yang. Oh, what are you, yin or yang?
Well, which one's which?
I don't know. Does it matter?
No, it does.
Fucking hell. I haven't started the podcast up again.
Is it yin yang? Yeah. Yin and yang, actually.
I thought it was yin and yang, but I could be wrong about that. Yin yang.
Taoism, the yin, the dark swirl, associated with shadows, femininity, there you go. And the trough of a wave, the yang, the light swirl, represents brightness, passion, and growth.
I don't have a growth.
So neither is really evil, then.
No.
It's
They
the
kind of
one
need
they
each
are.
other.
They feed each other.
They need each other.
They feed each other as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're just wandering off. Bye,
Finished.
dear listeners.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. We'd really appreciate it if you support us on various things, obviously subscribing on YouTube, Twitch, following us on Twitter or Facebook. We have a Discord server that you can join and talk to us and other people, and a website where you can check out blog posts.
And obviously this isn't free for us to run, so if you'd like to support us financially, we have a Patreon page where you can donate monthly and get subscriber rewards. We also have a Stream Elements tipping page where you can make one-off donations. The links are all in the description.
Farewell.
See you next time.
Jesus Christ, you are an asshole. That whole podcast just like being like, oh, why can't Feng do it for me?
What?